For any Yankee fans looking for a podcast to listen to, I suggest you check out NYY Sports Talk.
Are you listening?
Tune into the fellas.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no BS, there's no drama. You just feel like you're with the fellas talking baseball.
Welcome back. This is episode 229 of the NYYST podcast. I'm your host, Christian, as always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You?
And extra long because we never know if we're going to ever see him again. And SGR.
What Earp?
Did you say Wyatt Earp?
Wyatt Earp. Flat Earth.
It's a Stacy
You're-
thing.
You're a flat earther?
Wow, it got
Bro.
windy. Sorry if you hear the wind in the mic, man. I had to open my windows because it's so fucking hot. But now it's like windy. Windy.
shit.
I don't know if
Chris is scared of
I
the
am
wind.
scared of the wind. It's
They
true.
invented
so.
this thing called air conditioning.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not there yet. I mean, I would be if I lived in my house alone. Forget it. But I have little kids, you know. So
You
like
got kids?
you turn. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
My
I don't
daughter's
think it's-
pediatrician said that optimal sleeping temperature for a child is
Is-
65 degrees.
Oh yeah. Are you being serious right now? Because
No,
I'll
I'm-
fucking
I'm
crank
dead
that thing.
serious.
Wow. I'll crank it right down right
You're
now.
gonna go crank?
I'll crank. Go crank.
No, that's your job. You
You crank. This
We
episode
have to
is-
laugh to keep from crying.
This episode is brought to you
Yeah.
by our patrons. We will read all new patrons on the Monday show, but just a reminder, if you want to support the NYYST podcast, we talked about this being our last season. This is one of the ways that that we can keep moving on. So if you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/NYYST. You get a bunch of shit. You'll get a bunch of shit,
no
including
need to just
40%
segue into
off.
it. Chris is just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking do it now.
Well, you got it. Well, here's what happens. Can I tell you why? Because if we start bullshitting too much about cranking, people go, you know what? I'm going to hit the 30-second pass until I start talking about the Yankees. So I got to fit it into the crank talk. I got to fit it in.
No, but people like when Stat Guy Rye talks about cranking.
I know
Those
they
are-
do.
I've seen
Yeah.
the
The ratings
ratings
go through the roof. The ratings go through the roof. You're
That's not the only thing
Yeah.
that goes through the roof.
It just all goes through the roof. People do like people have crushes on Rye. They do.
Yeah.
SGR.
That's true. Oh, my DM's flooded.
I got to
dude.
tell you,
Ryan, I'm gonna
you could go. You go. You talk.
Ryan's gonna be. He's not gonna be very happy with me in a few minutes.
Oh, I know. We're gonna talk about Tyler
Yeah, I
White.
could have. Yeah.
But Ryan, I gotta say,
I'm ready
anyone
for it.
anyone who's like, should I sign up to their Patreon page? If you do, the first episode of Mike's on Late is on there, and our buddy Lewis, you remember Lewis, right? He
Yeah.
texted me and he goes, who's doing that Francesa? I'm like, my brother. He's like, and who's doing the Minko? I'm like, my brother. He's like, and Cashman, my brother. He was like blown away. But
and the Highwayman?
brother. Joe Namath, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Namath's in there.
But anyone who wants to take a listen to episode 1, go ahead. I promise you, episode 2, as good as episode 1 is, episode 2 blows it away so far.
Oh, sweet.
I'm
It
not
was-
gonna listen to. I'm not gonna listen to episode 2.
It's so
I feel
good.
Ryan peaked.
It's so
I hope not.
Ryan does a scene where Francesa's reading his own tweets, and I'm dying. I'm dying listening to it. And Brett Gardner's on this week on Mike's on Late.
Gardy joins the show.
Gardy
Yeah.
has a nice interview. And oh man, I can't. I'll start blowing to it. Just trust me. You want to listen to it.
Don't spoil it.
I won't. I won't.
Just kidding.
Okay, let's trigger SGR now.
No, let's trigger ourselves first.
Okay,
Actually, before we trigger anybody,
please.
not only check out not only check us out on Patreon because of Stat Guy Rise immense talents, and if you haven't listened to the first episode of Mike's on Late, you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, that is worth $5 a month alone. We're gonna start rolling out more content this week. I'm gonna do a couple of post game reaction shows, quick little 10-minute, maybe 5-10 minute hitters on that night's game. It won't be every night, but just whenever I can get up here and you know, shoot a couple shoot a
What are you
couple thoughts
shooting?
out.
Mm,
Mm.
getting dirty.
Be there.
So
Shooting.
we'll see. That'll be another added Patreon bonus, a little post game reaction, and we'll come up with some other stuff along the way. But just Ryan alone, that Mike's on Late. If you haven't listened to it, please, do yourself a favor. Even if just pay the $5 to listen to Ryan's episodes, and then tell me that you're gonna actually cancel after you hear that,
Nah, you
and
won't.
then you're gonna get more content on top of that.
You
But
won't.
also, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Hey, you know what? You don't even have to say that you like the show. Just be like, I'm leaving them a 5-star rating and review just because. And we'll be like, oh, thank you.
You could call us a bunch of dicks if you want. Just leave us 5. Just make sure it's 5-star.
You could air out every grievance that you've ever had with any of the two. Well, no one's ever had a grievance with
You could
Ryan,
even
but
misplace your anger. Like you could be angry at someone else and take it out on us as long as it's
just
5-star.
as long as 5 stars. 5 stars.
5
And
stars.
subscribe to the show on YouTube as well. So we got
That's
all
it.
the bookkeeping out of the way. The Yankees are going to return home tomorrow, Friday, for a 3-game series against the Tigers. And Chris, they're going to be 3 games under fucking 500 because they fucking lost today to the goddamn Orioles. They lost 4-3 in 10 fucking innings. I'm not even going to get into the fucking. We're going to have to because we're going to have to talk about fucking Tyler Wade, but I'm not going to even talk about the fucking Mickey Mouse Little League rules that they played under after the 9th inning today. And when we recorded Sunday night, what did we say? What did we say they had to do?
Do I even have to like say the words? I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
isn't it self-explanatory? Even if you didn't listen to the episode, you should know what we said they had to do.
And you were like, oh, have to sweep. And I was like, Chris, it's hard to sweep anybody on the road, 4 game set. You have these are the fucking Orioles. You have to win 3 games. There's no reason why they shouldn't win 3 games in a series. And what do? They bookend the series with fucking losses. They come out of this with a split. And now whatever good feeling that you might have had about this team on the road trip, it all got shitted away today. I'm sorry. I don't feel good about the New York Yankees right now. They had a job to do this weekend. And Ryan, while I'm ranting here, can you add up the Yankees run total in this 4-game series? Did they even score fucking 20 runs? What did I say was a goal for them? To score 40 runs, 40. And that was not an outlandish thing to request for them to score 40 runs in Camden Yards. It wasn't.
17 runs scored in this series.
They didn't even score 20 runs.
How many did the Orioles score? 12?
The Orioles scored 9 runs.
That's
You didn't even score 20 runs in Camden Yards.
Outscored them.
all right.
You had a guy on the mound for the Orioles today and I was listening to the game. I listened to most of the game. John was making fun of how all this guy does is walk people and give up home runs, and he's pitching like fucking Roger Clemens against the Yankees today. Walks onto the mound with an 80 ERA, can't throw strikes, can't keep the ball in the fucking yard, and the only 2 runs the Yankees got off of him, they were fucking lucky to get. They got bases loaded, nobody out, and they got fucking bailed out with 2 outs by Rougned Odor, a fucking guy that nobody knew why the Yankees traded for, but all he seems to do is come up with fucking big hits. The Texas Rangers gave this guy $30 million to go the fuck away, and he's the only reason why the Yankees scored runs today.
Yeah, and you know what's the most frustrating is like you come off the Cleveland series and you're like, okay, things could be better, but we got the Orioles coming in. This should really get them going. They lose the first game and you're real fucking pissed, right? You're like, this is fucking they're nothing. That series against the Indians was shit. They're not coming around. And then they come out in game 2 and in game 3 and they get the job done, especially game 3. And you saw a lot of glimpses of you saw a lot of things that you were waiting to see, right? You saw Clint Frazier come around. Torres had a good series. Kluber pitched great. So you're actually feeling better after game 2 at that point than you are at any after game 3 than you are at any point this season so far. You're really optimistic, right? And then they fucking blow it. And you want to know who I'm most pissed at? Whoever's fucking idea it was to not have Garrett Cole pitch today. That's who I'm fucking pissed at. Whoever made that fucking decision to not pitch him on his scheduled day, that's who's to blame. That's who's to blame. Because why are you messing with this right now? Why? Because it's the Orioles? Because your ace needs an extra day? Why? Because you think he does? No, you want to know why he didn't fucking play today? Why he didn't pitch? Because the Yankees made up their mind that Kyle Higashioka was going to become the new everyday catcher, and they knew a day game after a night game, they were going to put in Sanchez, and then Higgy would be back in the lineup tomorrow. I'm sure that's not the actual reason, but like it kind of adds up a little. Because why else are you skipping him?
You're telling me that 1 + 1 = 9 right now. I think that has nothing to do with why Garrett Cole didn't pitch today.
I just
would
said
love
that.
to. I would
just
love
said
to
that's
hear
not the
a
real
reason.
reason.
I don't care. I want to be mad right now. I want to hear a reason why. Because this was his day to pitch. All we heard is that the Yankees are going to drop guys in, go 6-man, but they're going to keep Cole on his schedule. So why did he not pitch today? And again, look, we're getting mad about the wrong thing. You're mad that Garrett Cole didn't pitch today. Who the fuck cares he didn't pitch today? He should have stayed on his day. He didn't. Whatever. There's still not an excuse why they didn't win. Why they didn't fucking win this series? You mean to tell me that that they needed Garrett? If you need Garrett Cole to I'm so fucking mad right now. If you need Garrett Cole to pitch against the Orioles to win a fucking series, you're not the fucking team we thought you were.
That's true. I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. It's just I guess it's the fucking icing on the cake, right? Is like at the end of the day, as shitty as everything was, that's the icing on the cake is like, and they decided for whatever reason while they're struggling to start the year that now we're going to start fucking with Garrett Cole's schedule. Like that's their solution to this.
So, but here's what I'm going to tell you also, right? Darren O'Day allowed a run in the 8th inning, right? So the Yankees pitching staff up to that point had only allowed 2 runs over 7 innings. If I told you going into the game, Garrett Cole was going to give you 2 runs over 7 innings, you're going to be like, wow, that was really, that's a Garrett Cole performance.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Again,
no, you're right. You're right.
Like
I'm more mad at the principle of it, I guess, not the actual outcome. I'm more mad that this team is making decisions that just don't add up and messing with a guy like Garrett Cole. Why? You're right, Christian. I guess at the end of the day, my frustration is just I want to know why. Why? And I don't think they can even answer it with any justification.
I haven't heard anything unless we're stupid and we did the math wrong, but Garrett Cole pitched Saturday, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's 5 fucking days. Isn't that right?
He pitched Saturday?
He pitched Saturday.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, today would be a scheduled day.
I don't know. Again, I don't know why. Like I don't want to harp on this because this is not.
I know.
This is not even
let's
like
not
a
even talk
pimple.
about it. Let's not even.
It's not even like a pimple on my ass right now. Of all the things that I'm fucking agitated about with this team.
It's bad.
Look,
man.
first of all, we got to go back to fucking Monday, right? We got to go all the way back to fucking Monday because I got to take Aaron Boone out here. You want to talk about Boone for Boone. What's the opposite? What's a drug they give you to like anti-Viagra?
Yeah, what do they inject into you if you have to go to the doctor?
Estrogen, puberty blockers. So,
is that a thing?
Oh yeah, I guess you don't really. I guess you don't follow current events.
No, I don't need things to make it go away. Like do you understand what I'm trying to say to you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about it going like tucking in. You're talking about
Yeah.
it going back into you.
Like bye-bye.
Yeah, it went bye.
You mean to tell me? Look, we're going to talk about Aaron Judge but whatever. He made a stupid base running mistake, which a lot of people killed him for, and rightly so. You don't make the third out at third base, especially in that
Mm-hmm.
situation. Your
According
team's
to his manager, it was justified.
Look, especially in that situation, late in the game, teams rallying, finally showing some life. But that's the thing that happens when teams press. Guys try to do too much, and he made a stupid mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aaron Boone gets tossed. We're all like, yeah, I'm not like, yeah, because this, I don't really, it doesn't, Aaron Boone yelling at an umpire isn't like, oh, he's finally showing fire, whatever, who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he doesn't get to challenge. The Yankees are trying to figure out what they need to challenge, blah, blah, blah. Then in the fucking post game, he's like, oh, I felt like I was being bullied. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? You mean to tell me you left some fucking Humpty Dumpty looking motherfucker that probably, is the most emasculated person that ever walked in his fucking neighborhood bully you? You're fucking Aaron Boone. You're the manager of the New York Yankees. You're telling the fucking world that an umpire was fucking bullying you? Chris doesn't even want to hear it. He's fucking walking away right
Yeah.
now.
No, I don't blame him, man. That doesn't set a good example when you're saying stuff like that, especially when you're trying to be a bully team yourself.
Look, I understand. Look, here's the difference between me and a lot of people. I get mad at when people say dumb shit, but I'm also trying to understand why they're saying the dumb shit. Like when Chris was arguing about the Yankees hitting instructor Rachel Balkovich the other. I'm trying to understand why that she says T work is stupid, even though the point in itself was stupid. When Aaron Boone says that he's being bullied by the umpire, I'm trying to understand what he's trying to say there. And yeah, the umpire was probably trying to be an asshole and throw his weight around and fuck with Aaron Boone. But you don't come out and say that the umpire is bullying me. You don't fucking say that. You can say that in 100 different ways, but to say that you're being bullied by an umpire just doesn't jive.
I'm not defending Boone here by any fucking means, okay? I need that to be known and to be understood. But I went back and listened to it, and I think you agree with me, Christian, that it seemed like the wrong choice of words, and what
yes,
he was
it was
just,
absolutely the wrong choice of words.
the word and I think the reason why he had the wrong choice of words is because what he really wanted to say he couldn't say on TV.
What, that the guy's a fucking prick?
The guy was being a fucking dickhead. Is really the word he wanted to use.
So get yourself fucking fined and
I
suspend
agree.
it. Don't fucking tell everybody that you were being bullied by a fucking umpire.
I agree. I'm not defending Boone. It was a fucking embarrassment when he said it. It was the only reason why I went back to listen to it again is because I couldn't believe he said what he said.
I'm kind of being bullied. Aaron, like, we're giving impassioned speeches on this show about what a fucking great guy you are and how we need to win a World Series for you because you fucking had a heart. You had a fucking pacemaker put in, and 2 days later, you're getting fucking COVID tested to go manage this team in the rain. Like, we are these guys. And then fucking a month later, you're getting bullied? How am I supposed to stick up for you?
That wasn't even my biggest gripe of the whole press conference. It was like, that was bad, but to me, what he said about Judge making the third out at third was like a million times worse.
What did he exactly say? Because after the bully thing, I couldn't listen to him anymore.
I'll try and find the quote verbatim. But they asked him about Judge making the third out of third. He said, yeah, you never want to make the third out of third, but, Judgy or whatever the fuck he called him was trying to get there because, having runners on the corners instead of first and second in that situation puts us in a much better spot, blah, blah, blah. So I understand why he did it. No, that is not the answer. That is not the fucking answer I want to hear. Like, everyone rips Boone for not being tough on his players. I'm not even asking you to be tough on Judge there. All I'm asking you to do is say, yeah, obviously it was a mistake. You never want to make the third out of third, and it really costs us. But Judge is a good fucking player. He fucking, it was a mistake. It was a mistake, and he knows that. That's it. Don't tell me that he understands why he did it and he doesn't mind, or the way he said it was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. So I'm not really mad about it. No, you should be fucking furious. Absolutely furious.
You know who he was mad at? You really want to know who he was mad at? Did you see him yesterday when Clint Frazier? What did Frazier do? He
Oh,
had
he was
that base running
smiling.
error, and
Yeah,
he's
he was
Boone.
smiling.
Boone was pissed. He sent Mendoza over there to fucking talk to him. He didn't even want to fucking look at Frazier. I was stunned that Frazier was in the fucking lineup today, even though he seemed he was coming out of it on Wednesday night. He had a home run and a double, I believe. He's
Yeah,
not
even
definitely.
even before he hit that home run, when he had that double, I was watching his swing. He came through the ball like he normally does. He got the bat out in front and he really came through the ball, and I said maybe he's coming out of this. And then he had a pretty good series from there on out.
Look, there was a lot of things to like
A lot
about
of
this series.
positives.
Like if you take out Monday, which was just a fucking abomination because you got a fucking washed up Matt Harvey fucking pitching like it was 2015, right? And then the whole getting thrown out thing, the bullying thing, right? DJ started to come around.
Yes.
Labor started to come around. Stan is like a completely different fucking hitter. I don't want it. Look, he struck out in the ninth inning
Yeah.
today. Go fuck yourself. So not Stanton. Anybody that's talking shit about him. If you were watching this guy, you could see he's changing his approach at the plate. He's
Mm-hmm.
not trying to be home run or nothing. This guy's fucking scalding the ball,
Oops.
trying to find holes in the infield. Because you want to know something, Chris? The guy hits the ball 119 fucking miles an hour. And Wednesday's game, he hit the ball so fucking hard that the fucking infielder couldn't even handle it. Guess what? That's a routine out
Uh,
for most guys. John Carlos Stanton hits it so hard. Competent major league shortstop can't handle it. Base hit leads to 4 runs.
Go back to
Leads
last
to four
episode.
runs.
Go back to last episode. I said the reason why Stanton needs to try to not just be so much home run or strikeout is because he's so valuable just putting the ball in play, because any normal hit, like that would be a normal out for someone, is a base hit for him, because the guy's hitting the ball fucking he's like he's not a human up there, how hard he hits the ball. And you saw at the next game after I said that, the next game, I
In
think it
the
was,
first inning, I mean, I don't know how the third Franco was playing third base. I don't know how the hell he
I don't
fucking
even know
handled
Yeah.
that,
how he saw
and
it.
he
A
turned it
double
into a
play.
double play.
Oh, that one.
That was
but then
that-
the next one, it was like I don't even know how the third baseman saw the ball go past them. And you had two balls that if a normal human being hit them, that one and then the one to the second baseman or up the middle a little, any normal human being hits those balls, they're outs. But Stanton gets a couple base hits, and then you really saw him coming around,
Right.
and he's hitting the ball the opposite field. He's hitting it up the middle. And that's a sign of a guy who has a much better approach at the plate, like you just said.
And I know Kay and Cone, Cone was doing it. Kay and uh, Michael Kay and David Cone, they were really like harping on exit velocity the past couple days, and I'm seeing tweets like, "Whoa, why are we so obsessed with exit?" That's why.
That's why.
That's why.
Mhm.
If Stan's hitting grounders at 88 miles an hour, guys are eating those up all day. Routine plays. When a guy's hitting a ball 119 fucking miles an hour at you, I don't. You could have balls of steel. You don't want to fucking catch that
yeah,
shit.
man. I'm jumping out of the way of it. And I'll tell you what, if
Yeah.
I'm the third base coach when Stanton's up, I'm just fucking sitting in
Oh,
the dugout.
Phil Nevin should be like, yeah, I'm.
Phil Nevin doesn't give a fuck though. He'll just
Yeah.
stand there and catch it with his bare hand. He'll catch it with his bare hand.
Yeah, barehanded.
You saw
Very
in the middle 2 games of the series, you saw a lot of things that you liked. You saw DJ started to show some life. Judge before.
Mhm.
He was starting to show some life. You saw Glaber, even though we're hitting the last day of fucking April tomorrow, Friday, when you listen to this. uh, he has 0 home runs. He had a big hit today. I mean, the Yankees got
Yeah.
unlucky. The ball bounces in the stands, or else they would have taken a lead. But no home runs for Glaber. But he showed a little bit of life. But then today, like, you know, you were I didn't see it. I ended when I got ended up getting home. I saw it. It would have been a 3-0 count to Ford. Ford ended up striking out. But people are and people are like getting on Boone for keeping the bunt on with two. Look, the fact of the matter is they reverted again. They reverted to a bad offensive team. Like, are we going to go through all of 2021 where the Yankees show signs of life for 2 or 3 days and then they're just bad
It,
and they
it
lose games that they should win?
before the series, it was if someone asked you at what moment, if you could, if you thought like, if you had to guess when you would feel the Yankees were finally getting on the right track, you would say, we talked about it. They needed to end April at 500 and reset and whatever. But really, you were at a point after game 3 where you said to yourself, all right, if they come out and take care and take care of business and fucking stomp on this team and roll into the Tigers series and keep it going, I actually might say after this game, after winning 3 in a row and taking the series like they needed to, after all the good things that happened, I actually would have walked away from today's game and said, I think this team is on now. I think I finally feel really good about where this team is because we saw a lot of good things and good things that you needed to see.
Right.
Mhm.
And then they fucking blew it.
Even the
Starters gave him length too this series,
Yeah.
5 innings or more, right?
they
In
took the
every
training wheels
game,
off of Corey Kluber,
except for
6
that
and two
Davy game.
thirds. He looked really good. And people are going to say, "Oh, it's because Kyle Gashoka caught him." Right?
Well,
Domingo Herman. I mean, what are you going to say? You got the guy pitched a hell of a game.
yeah, he really did. And you know what? Again, that's another thing another bright spot. It's not just that he pitched a good game. We said after his last start that you really hope he builds on that. That's what you
Right.
need to start seeing. You need to start seeing momentum from all these guys so that they start clicking.
It was
That's how you
funny.
click.
It was funny though because right before Kluber's start, Boone had said that, and I'm paraphrasing here. He basically said the training wheels were off Kluber and Tyone at this point.
And
Right?
how many times, real quick, sorry to cut you off, but how many times do I say that a pitcher going out there knowing he has the training wheels on is something that weighs on your mind because any mistake, any defensive error or something, you keep looking up at that pitch count. Like a guy like Kluber, to me, I think a big part of that was that he knew the training wheels were off and he's fucking ready to go. And he showed it.
Stuff looked really good. The
It
Message
did.
looked. I mean, and then we were talking about it. Like I thought he was done after the 6th inning, and Boone sent him back out there, which was a fucking stunning thing to me. The way the Yankees treat their starting pitchers, but he ended up getting 2 more outs in the inning before they lifted him. So I mean, like you're looking for encouraging things, and you even as bad as Monday was, you can't say that you weren't feeling encouraged about the Yankees and the way things were going leading into
Mm-hmm.
this game today, and like and then it's just again, it's just the reverting, like the reverting back. It's like when are we going to get this big offensive performance? That's why I was saying 40 runs, and people might have been looking at me like this guy's fucking crazy, but this is a bad pitching staff for the Orioles. You weren't getting their top pitcher in John Means.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
Right.
Camden Yards where you rake all the time, and you didn't even score 20 runs. Not even 20 runs in these 4 games.
Uh-uh.
Is averaging 5 runs a game in Camden Yards a lot to ask for
It's
against
just
that staff?
it's so it's like so uncharacteristic. If there's one place that this team fucking dominates, I don't care if they're in the worst slump of the season. If there's one place this fucking team dominates, it's in Baltimore. It's in Baltimore.
Are we ever going to see that performance out of the Yankees this year?
Yes.
Do you think they're just going to roll out of bed one day and put up 15 because they didn't do it this week?
Yeah, I got to say, I'm extremely frustrated. I'm disgusted. This was an awful performance to end this series the way they did. But I actually feel better now about the Yankees than I did after the Cleveland series. I do, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm still optimistic that this team will find it and will dominate. And the fact that I saw some things that we really needed to, I truly believe the season's going to start tomorrow for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, they're 3 games under 500.
Yeah, well, look,
Mm.
it starts tomorrow.
No,
You-
it should have started already.
You sweep the Tigers.
You
you
have
bring
any
yourself-
faith in that? You have any faith in that?
I do. I
Oh,
do. I
really?
think
Uh-huh.
they sweep the Tigers
Yeah.
and they carry it over and dominate the fucking Astros.
Yay,
Yeah,
we get to boo the
yeah.
Astros. Yay.
Yeah, listen, if that's one of your priorities right now, you're fucking lost.
Look, honestly,
April
and I don't care.
showers.
I don't care who cuts this fucking audio. I don't care who you send it to. I really don't. But I'm not gonna name drop anybody. You know who the fuck it is. You should not be fucking tweeting before the Orioles series about booing the Astros, and this is what we're all waiting for. This team was 3 games. What were they? 3 games under? Yeah, they were, because they split 4 games. They were 3 games under 500 heading into Baltimore, and you're looking ahead 3 fucking series to boo the Astros.
Yeah.
This team has got way too many problems. This fan base has way too much shit that they're complaining about to be looking at booing the fucking Astros. Because right now, Chris, I have no faith that they can fucking beat the fucking Astros. They can't even beat the fucking Orioles. And, oh, but we got to boo them. Seriously, shut my fucking podcast off and don't fucking podcast. I shouldn't call it mine. Shut our fucking show off and don't listen to it anymore. If that's what you're worried about. Oh, we can boo the Astros. Fuck you.
I don't know why Yankee fans are so anxious to boo. They've been booing all fucking year. They've been booing since the first game in the 7th inning.
Right. I mean, seriously, maybe now you want to take it out on somebody else. The people that you're supposed to take it out on.
Supposed
Guess
to.
what? Guess
Right.
what? The boo for the Astros has lost all its fucking glory because
It lost all its meaning.
the
You think
Yankees won't even know if you're booing them or if you're booing
Alex
the fucking
Bregman's going to
Astros.
come to the plate on Tuesday night, and he's going to be like, "What does this mean to me? They boo Stan. The guy only hit 6 home runs in 7 fucking games of the postseason for him. They boo him. So what does this mean to me?"
Yeah, right. So why are you so anxious to boo another fucking team? Why? You boo your own team. You boo your own team
Right.
enough. Like the Yankees could go. The Yankees were in Baltimore, obviously, and it was like you heard a bunch of boos, and I was like, "Oh man, I thought Baltimore is normally filled with Yankee fans," and I'm like, "Oh, they probably are Yankee fans, actually." You couldn't tell the difference.
Right. Well, look, guys, it's all rise all the time this year, right? So we gotta bring up some more bright spots of this series, and that's three performances I really like. Where again, Aroldis Chapman, Chris, that hot take
Unreal,
might have been just a normal take, man. He's looking really, really good this year. I think he'll be in the conversation, like you said, for MVP if he keeps this up. He's not. It'll be like a top 10 maybe, but Cy Young, it could be a top 3 finish if he keeps this up.
Is he going to get enough save opportunities?
Yeah, that's
who
right.
knows?
Well,
Who knows?
so you had him. You gotta give credit to Jonathan Loaiza and how he looked in this series and continues he's throwing a 2-seam fastball at 100 miles per hour and he's dotting the outside corner with
Jonathan
it.
Loaiza, losing pitcher, records
Right.
2 outs today. The only 2 batters that he faces, losing pitcher. Tell me how that makes any fucking sense, Rob Manfred.
That's the second loss the Yankees because Nick Nelson had an extra inning loss where he didn't.
No, he allowed a double. The run
Yeah.
scored because of the
Right.
double that he gave
Yeah,
up.
but that's not but it still wasn't an earned run. They don't
but
credit that as an earned run.
Loaiza did not allow a base runner today, and he loses the fucking game.
And then one more name you
Wild.
got to give credit is Michael King. He still hasn't allowed an earned run this season.
Yeah.
And he looked okay. He looked pretty good in this series.
Yeah, and just to give context to what you were saying that I said about Chapman, because I didn't say it on the show, I said it to you guys in a text that if Chapman does this all year, and obviously that's a lot to ask for. The guy's been beyond brilliant.
20 strikeouts in 8 innings.
It's unreal what he's doing. Okay. All I was saying was, I'm not saying he's going to win MVP. Not saying he's going to win Cy Young. Please don't fucking take that out of context. What I'm saying is when people are talking about it, he will at least be just like Luke Voigt was kind of in the discussion last year, but he was nowhere near actually winning anything. That's good. That could be Aroldis Chapman this year. Like guys could speculate, will Aroldis Chapman decent amount of votes. If he keeps this up, man, I'm telling you, that's how good he looks right now. Unhittable. Unhittable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking
I'm,
good.
I'm glad Ryan interjected there so I could come down a little bit, but now I'm going to bring it back up
Yeah.
again because I wanted to make one more point about the whole booing thing before we move on to other stuff. Is that the Red Sox and Mets played each other this week, and in a ninth inning of a 2-1 game, they're chanting "Yankees suck,"
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
And Yankee fans on social media are like, rent free, rent free, rent free.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you motherfuckers are looking 3 series ahead to boo the Astros. So you can't make fun of them and then and essentially do the same thing. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the frustrating part is like I understand we fucking hate this team when they're as frustrating as they've been. But like if we're not going to fucking support them and take ownership of them and say this is our fucking team, no one else is. No one else is. So don't sit there and fight with other fans when they're saying Yankees
But
suck or
Chris,
they're
if we're
booing.
sitting here right now, 20-5, and you want to look ahead to boo the Astros,
Yeah,
whatever.
let's
This team
fucking
has
look
been
ahead.
so fucking inconsistent, bad, boring, whatever fucking word people are throwing out there, and you're like, no, well, we get to boo the Astros. Well, you know what? If that's your concern with the rest of the baseball season, next week you can boo the Astros. Do me a favor and do not listen to the show because we are concerned about the New York Yankees and how they are going to get the fuck out of this fucking skank slump that they're in, because that's what I feel like. Just some skanky. They're just like some fucking
Ratchet. It's ratchet.
rat, whatever, and get to be
Odor
the
in here.
fucking. You know, I
Odor.
tweeted that when they were really bad. I said it's
Yeah.
ironic that the Yankees traded for a guy who spells his name's spelled
Odor.
odor because of how fucking
He's the
terrible
only
they.
one who doesn't stink in big fucking
Right.
spots when the team needs it.
So
Stinky.
you worry about booing the Astros, and we'll worry about the Yankees and how the fuck they're going to get out of this and win the goddamn World Series. Now, if you want to sell the season out already and say this is the only enjoyment you're going to get out of the season, you do you, we'll do us. Okay, I'm done. We don't have to talk. We're not gonna. We're not, the rant is over. I'm not gonna do it again on Sunday. I'm done. It's over with. You people fucking embarrassed yourselves. Okay. Now we're back here. Speaking of fucking embarrassing themselves, let's segue into this because there's 3 things that we got to touch on before we wrap up. I know we wanted to keep the show quicker tonight, so we'll try to get through these as quickly as possible. Number one, we brought up embarrassing. Aaron Judge, what's his fucking problem? The guy's sore. What's wrong with him? I don't know. Well, what the fuck? I mean, are you gonna tell us or not?
Just a general. What was the quote?
General soreness. General soreness.
No, it's nothing in. No, he said it's nothing in particular. Oh, so you're just telling me his whole body's falling apart? Is what you're admitting at that point? It's on. I'm sorry that I've been so negative on Judge. I love the guy, I do, but like, I know he. What inning did he come into this game?
Then was it the 8th or right?
Very late in the game.
Okay. Was this not a must win for the Yankees in the situation? Not saying a must win like their season's over. I'm saying a must win to really get the ball rolling here after those last 2 games. Was this not a must win to like really get the team feeling good?
Yeah, I would say.
And where was Aaron Judge? Sore,
picking his nose.
sore, and I'm not even necessarily like ripping him because I'm sure if the Yankees left it up to him, he'd be there. But I don't know that. Like I don't know. So for me, it's just like you wonder why I've been hard on this guy to like be a fucking leader on the field, like be a winner, be a leader. He's not even out there on a game that this team needed to fucking win right now. He's nowhere to be found. They bring him in at the 8th. If you're bringing him in the 8th, why isn't he playing the whole game?
Was it? I want to make a point about this because I'm going to rip Aaron Boone again.
Like, why isn't he in the whole game then?
We just lump the Aarons together because in that at bat, Aaron Judge strikes out on 3 pitches. Then Hicks comes up right after him. Aaron Hicks comes up one ball, 3 strikes. Like these guys got to fucking put up some at bats too. All these Aarons out there plus Booney. I mean, tough predicament we're in here. You know.
All right, here we go. Ready? 8th inning. He goes to Aaron Judge. Well, you don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care that Paul Fry is a lefty. He's certainly not fucking Randy Johnson. I can tell you that much, right? So who does Aaron Boone decide he's going to pinch hit for? Roof Neto Door, the one fucking guy that showed the polls today. When meanwhile, the fucking waste of fucking space, Aaron Hicks is up next. You mean to
Wild.
tell me
Right.
that you're in your fucking mind, the move is Roof Neto Door? I don't care if they came up with a new rule that Roof Neto Door could make 4 outs in one at bat, all 3 in that inning, and then he had to get penalized for an out in the 9th inning. I don't care if they came up with a new rule for that because Rob Manfred's probably scheming something like that anyway. 4-out play. I don't care if Roof Neto Door made a 4-out fucking play. If you're pinch hitting for Aaron Judge in that situation, you are fucking pinch hitting for Aaron Hicks. Now
Yeah.
you're going to tell me, oh, well, then, because Judge didn't stay in the field, right? Then why is he fucking hitting in the first place? If he can't go out there in the 8th inning and give you 2 fucking innings in the field, why is he getting off the fucking bench in the first place? There's such a fucking contradiction to what's going on with this guy.
It's so frustrating. It's so unbelievably frustrating. And that's a great fucking point, man. Why are you taking out the one guy who's the reason why you're here in the first place in this game? Why?
Mhm.
And I'm not discrediting Torres's big hit. It was a bad break for the Yankees, really, that ball bounced over. But I mean, why? Why? There are so many other options to pinch hit Judge in there for. Hicks being number one, and I could list probably a couple others.
And if you're telling me that Aaron can't play the field, Aaron Judge can't play the field, don't fucking bother him then. Let him sit on the fucking bench then today. Because I'm going to tell you, somebody's going to say, well, he didn't stay in the field, so he probably can't play. Then leave him alone. If he can't give you 6 defensive outs, it would have turned out to be 7 or 8, whatever, because they played a 10. If but at that point, you're looking at getting a lead, playing into the bottom of the 9th inning. If he can't give you 6 defensive outs, he can't hit.
Can I tell you where it really even fucked the Yankees even more? If you really want to think like outside the box here, I forget.
that?
I think it was the 9th. Maybe the 9th. Yeah, I think it was the 9th. When did Mike Ford get on base?
That was the 9th inning. He scored
The 9th inning. Question: if Tyler Wade wasn't in the game at that point, would he not have pinch run for Mike Ford?
I would assume that he would have.
Yeah, correct, right? Because that's a pretty big runner, and Mike Ford is fucking Homer Simpson. So pretty sure he would have. Maybe you manufacture another run there, and we're not even having this discussion.
Well, maybe you don't because Tyler Wade. I mean, take your pick. Who's the bigger fucking waste, Tyler Wade or Aaron Hicks? You have one job. You're Tyler Wade. You have one fucking job. Get the goddamn bunt down.
I mean,
It's
that was
so frustrating.
That was well, that was then you could even play it into that. Tyler Wade's not up in that position, fucking trying to bunt.
And then
Maybe
people are like, "Well, Boone's an idiot. Why didn't he take the bunt off on 2? You're Tyler Wade.
he's not
That's
going to do anything anyway.
You're Tyler Wade. You're Tyler Wade. You have one. Your job is to fucking bunt and be fast. If you can't do that, go. Just go.
Yeah. Get
Let me
outta
tell
here.
you something.
Ugh,
If
feel
you're
dirty
as
saying
bad
that.
if you're as bad of a hitter as Tyler Wade is, you better be a fucking, at the very least, a phenomenal bunter.
You know how bad you will have to be that your manager is actually sitting there contemplating in his fucking mind that the team is on the verge of going 3 games under 500 against a Orioles team that they should dominate, that he would rather get ridiculed by the press, by social media for leaving the bunt on with 2 strikes than actually let you fucking swing the bat.
Yeah.
Doesn't that, I mean, come on now. I had to tell you everything you need to know about Tyler Wade. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the poll that I ran today, I want to talk about Mike Tauchman getting traded for a guy who had the 3rd highest whip amongst all relief pitchers since 2018. That's a fucking bang up job there. Now, you think it has to do with Zach Britton. I don't, because the Yankees haven't seen him throw yet. So what is he being set back from? But you have a solid point in that Justin Wilson looks like he's fucking lost out there. So
Mhm.
they might be trying to get some insurance on that. look, it was a shock that Mike Tauchman got traded. It really was because all you heard is that the Yankees were they still thought there was something there. He was hurt last year. He was going to revert back to the 2019 Tauchman, and then they trade him for a guy with a negative career WAR.
Can I can I just make a point with why I chose Britton and not Wilson? Because I'm trying to put it all into context of how Cashman spoke about Tauchman before the season started. And that was that, yes, he would be open to a trade, but he values Tauchman and he's got to get a good deal back, right? And then to add on to that, Tauchman was actually showing his value in a different way this year as a pinch runner and also defensive replacement, and he was putting some shit together. And it was like, you know what, I kind of like having Tauchman off the bench right now. To me, he upped his value a little bit. He always plays hard. He's doing the right hard. He was doing the right things. And then it was like, and then you traded him for who? What's the guy's name?
Wandy Peralta.
The Yankees are apparently getting another player also in the deal.
Okay, but regardless, so it's like
TBD.
So I'm trying to think. It seemed like such a desperation move at that point, and we don't even need.
Cowboys just traded the 10th pick to the Eagles, right?
Nice.
I saw that.
Nice.
Weird.
And we don't need to be desperate in the bullpen right now, right? The bullpen's been the one fucking thing we don't need to be desperate. So the only logical thing I can come up with is that the Yankees that Britton got set back somehow. I know he hasn't started throwing yet, but like, maybe he was in physical therapy and just wasn't feeling right. And they looked at it and he's set back. And the Yankees are like, fuck, we need to throw in another lefty arm here, especially with Wilson, not really looking the greatest. Maybe that was the only way I could make sense of that trade. So it was like, it was a desperation move for no reason. If that's not the case, you can't tell me that you need to get a guy with, what'd you say, the highest whip since when? 2018? In the last 3 years?
Whip.
Okay.
Third.
So you're telling me the guy who you value so much, who upped his value so far this season, is the trade-off is a guy with the highest whip in the last 3 years?
Third highest whip.
The third highest. Sorry.
Right.
I mean, so how does that make sense in any way? How? It was almost like the trade happened. It was almost like San Francisco just was like, hey, you're going to go to New York and tell Tauchman he's coming to us. We're not even going to call Cashman. We're just going to let this happen. We're going to tell Cashman this is the deal. And that was it. Because to me, there's no way Cashman made that move without having something like Britton being set back as the excuse. I can't make sense of it. Why do the Yankees need a lefty reliever right now?
Yeah.
That's not even that good. Do they?
I mean,
Or could they have used a guy like Mike Tauchman right now?
The new thing is that fans have sliders now. It's like a stat slider, and it shows you like the percentile in certain categories, and his peripheral stats are really good. I'm not going to say that they're not. His K rate is low, which is not
good for the Yankees.
So we'll see, man. Usually these under the radar things are where Cashman kind of excels. It just look, I'm more mad about it because I'm tired of fucking looking at Aaron Hicks, and right now I don't want Gardy to be starting every day. So I would have liked to see, and we talked about this whenever it might have been last episode, that I wanted to see Tauchman get a run here, and he got fucking run out of town is what happened.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, man. We said that over and over about Gardy. I'd much rather have Gardy out there than Hicks.
Well, yeah, dude, I'd
rather have a slumping Gardy over Hicks, because at least Gardy brings something to the table, even when he's slumping.
Look, I know you hate the Sandlot, but the famous scene of the kid when he got the fucking fish hat on and with the toy glove with the fucking black eye, and he's just standing there hoping to catch the fucking ball.
Yeah,
I'd rather have that fucking jabroni out there than Aaron Hicks. At least he fucking made contact later on in the movie.
And again, let's be fair to Aaron Hicks. He was starting to come around. He had a couple of home runs, but then what does he do? We talked about it last week too. I mean, then he's out. He's not feeling himself. What was it? His tummy hurt. He had a little Tyler Wade syndrome.
Back.
Poop.
But
He's
he was
back.
back in the, we ranted about that. He was back in the lineup the next day. And then, then you see him. What was one of the best things about Aaron Hicks? His throwing arm. He's got a fucking noodle out there now.
Yeah. What was that today to end the game?
What does Aaron Hicks do? Walk? Nope, not anymore. What does Aaron Hicks do? What throws? He's got a cannon for an arm. Nope, not anymore. What are you doing, Aaron? And then, but wait a minute, Chris. He hits the ball really far at Top Golf.
He does have a good golf swing. That's a lot. Brings a lot of value. Brings a lot of value. Maybe he has a great personality too. I heard that is also a big factor in putting together a strong team.
His on base percentage this year is .233.
Well, when you're hitting 140, I guess that's not bad.
It's actually pretty good. Pretty good if you really take it all into consideration. It doesn't mean you're not a loser, because you are.
Speaking of losers, yeah, we've tried to be transparent here, and we'll remember a lot of the takes that we have because we like to be honest with the fans. I didn't really have a problem with the extension, even though now, our boy Dan Federico likes to point out this asshole's going to be here for another 5 years.
Yeah, I meant to quote tweet that and be like, Dan Federico hates Yankee fans, and this tweet is proof, just for reminding me of that.
And again, I don't want anybody to think that I'm taking shots at Aaron Hicks personally. I just think he's fucking terrible at baseball, and I don't want him playing for my favorite team anymore. Okay. We had no problem for what we thought Aaron Hicks would be, paying him $10 million a year. That seemed like a bargain. It really did.
Absolutely.
But when you're not even doing the things that you do well, and on top of that, you're bad.
Right.
and other, like, come on now. What you knew there was a problem when Michael Kay was pointing out how much better of a right-handed hitter he was, because he's not a better right-handed hitter.
All Hicks had to do to justify that contract was just plateau.
They jumped in front of the Giants to get fucking Devonta Smith. What?
I like that.
I love that. We weren't even asking Aaron Hicks to be above average. Just be average. And that contract would have been justified. Even though we don't like him as a player, it still would have been justified as a steal because of what he brought to the team. But now you're dipping below that. You've regressed in a big way when the team really needs you, and your manager keeps putting you up in big spots for some reason. And now it's like, I wish they never fucking signed him. She should have stayed in Minnesota.
All right, so a couple more things and then we'll get out of here. Loser, even though he had a pretty solid game today. Gary Sanchez, no longer the starting catcher. Higgy, also not starting catcher. It's kind of be like a more of a split thing. I guess you got to go with it right now, right?
Yeah, look, if there's ever a time to do it, you've given Gary enough time to try and pull it together. And you were so hopeful after spring training, and then, opening day hits the home run, and it's just like, then the guy's lost again. You can't keep doing it. You can't keep putting him out there every day. And I know you make fun of the fans who are saying like, Higgy's the reason why I'm not saying he's the reason, but just like with Cole, if it's working, it's working. And the pitchers on this team have been throwing better to Kyle Higashioka.
All right, fine.
Higgy.
So, but here's the thing, though. He's not the answer offensively. If he's going to be better with the pitching staff, then that's what we're going to go with. We're going to expect nothing from the offensive side of the production from catchers, because Kyle Higashioka, he'll run into 10, 15 home runs in a year, which is fine. But he's not going to be a competent major league hitter. He's just not.
No, and if this lineup would produce the way they're capable of, that's a trade-off you're willing to make if the pitchers are really throwing better to him, because you don't need him at that point to be some dominant force at the plate.
But that's not why the move was made, though.
I understand. But what I'm saying is, the move is made, so you're still getting a positive that the pitchers
The
have.
Giants traded back. That's the first time Dave Gettleman's ever done that.
No one cares about the draft. Can I please get through my point and will you
Okay.
listen?
Okay.
You're at least getting the positive that that the pitching is doing better with him behind the plate. And if this offense, again, we're going to pick it the fuck up, you don't mind what he does at the plate because Gary's a negative, right? Pitchers aren't throwing as well to him and he's not hitting. So at least Higgy's bringing something. But right now, you know, when he fizzles out, which he will at the plate, he'll get into a few here and there. But he's not a major league starting catcher.
Right. We've seen this same. This is what I don't understand about fans. Do you not remember anything? We just went through this with Austin Romine.
Right.
When Austin
we loved him.
Romine stepped up to be the starting catcher, he didn't hit as much.
Right. You
When he would
exposed
come
him
in
too
and
much.
play 1 or 2 times a week, yeah, he hit 300. He run into a few home runs. It was fun. Same thing with Higgy. He plays 1 or 2 times a week. He runs into a few home runs. He's hitting 300, but he started 3 times this week. And the third time he started, he took an offer, right? He struck out 2 or 3 times in the game. Why? Because these guys are backups for a reason. Okay, so Gary's not the answer anymore. Okay, Gary's not the answer anymore. Who's the answer? It's not Kyle Gashioka. It's not Robinson Chirinos. The Yankees, they need to figure it out. They need to figure this
No,
out.
and let me say something about that too. It's rare and it's valuable to be able to say you're a good major league backup catcher. And the Yankees have been fortunate enough to have Romine and now Higashioka. They both do a great job as backups. But when the Yankees come out and say Higgy's going to get more playing time and this and that, what that does is when teams are scouting the Yankees and getting ready for a series against them, when Higgy's your backup catcher, yeah, they're looking at things and they know him somewhat, right? Pitchers know Higgy somewhat, but they're focused more on Gary, right? Because that's the Yankees guy. But when you come out and say we're going to give Higgy the job to lose pretty much, that changes completely. They're putting way more focus on Higashioka than they ever would. And that's when he's going to be exposed. That's when he's going to lose this, this love affair that the fans have with him. Trust me.
All right. The last thing I want to do is actually the Aaron Judge poll, but there's a couple of notes. We talked about Andujar, right? That was close the show with that last week. Voigt took some live pitching today. Boone said that it's not going to be a quick thing. They really want him to, and this is another fucking Booneism, which I thought when you love somebody, their quirks are fun, but when you hate somebody, they're not.
And now they're not fun anymore.
He has to knock the knee rust off. So I believe that was the actual fucking term that he used. So it's not going to be like a quick thing where he's going to go because the minor league season is starting this weekend or next week, I think. So it's not going to be like, oh, he's going to play 1 or 2 games. They want him to really go down there, work, And again, if we're waiting for Luke Voigt to come and save the season, then this is not the team that we thought they were. I'm sorry. I like Luke Voigt. Chris thinks I hate him. I just don't think he's a great defensive first baseman. I think he can be a liability over there. But at the plate as a leader, I love the fucking guy. But if you're waiting for Luke Voigt to come back to save the Yankees like he's fucking Superman at the end of Justice League, they're not the Yankees then. This is not the team that we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, and the reason why you can, I guess the way you can say that that's legit is because if you ask yourself why the Yankees are playing as shitty as they are, is it because they don't have Zach Britton?
No.
Is it because Luke Voigt's not in the lineup?
I mean, you can make a better argument for that.
Right, but what I'm saying is if Luke Voigt's in the lineup, is this team 10 games over 500 right now?
Is this the offensive juggernaut that we thought they would be if Luke Voigt was in the lineup?
Right. The reason why this team is supposed to be so dominant is that they don't have to rely on any one guy.
Or they
no
shouldn't
single.
be. They shouldn't have to rely on any one
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like that should if you want to say that you know that he brings the defense and the team will be more solid and the whatever, that's fine, but that's not the reason why they've been playing so shitty. It's because they're just not getting it together as a team right now. They're not scoring the runs they need to score. They're not beating the teams they need to beat. Luke Voigt, yeah, he'll make them better, but if these other guys don't pick it up around him, it's not going to matter.
And the other thing was that Sevy, I believe this is correct. No, Britain is throwing this for the first time on this homestand, and I think Sevy is as well. Or they're doing something else with Sevy. He's taking the next step. So whatever it is, it is. Again, what are we expecting from Severino when he comes back?
Right.
Yeah, you got to go into it not expecting much, and then if he fucking comes back dominant, then you're just you're fucking happy about it,
Just
obviously.
real quick, because I do want to get to the judge stuff. Um, yes or no? Sevy comes back. All the starters are rolling because so far, right now, Cole is Cole, right? Kluber looks like he turned the corner. I'm using a
Mhm.
Boonism.
Mhm.
Tyone, as fucking piss poor as that outing was on Sunday, which we got on him for because you can't fucking let up the lead like he let it up. The stuff is there. Now the training wheels are off him. Let's see what the next outing's like.
Yep.
Herman, two good starts in a row now. Even Montgomery today didn't have his best stuff. Susan called it out, was laboring, kept the team in the game. Everybody's rolling. You know Sevy's going to be limited coming back from Tommy John. Do you weaponize him out of the bullpen?
That's so tough, man. You got to really evaluate where he is health wise because that's such a tough question. It really is because he, i- i- if he can finally stay healthy and go back to the guy that he was a couple years ago, you need that in your rotation, man. Like long term, over the next couple years, you need that in your rotation. And I want to see him get back to that. If he can come back full strength and look good, he's one of my starters in the postseason, man. There's no doubt about it. I don't know. I don't know at that point. It's again a good problem to have right now, but we got to see.
We're trading for Max Scherzer too. On top of it,
True.
True. That's
True.
true. Well, you have him for the next 2 years, right, Severino, for $10 million each year. So I doubt that will be their plan to stick him in the bullpen. They're gonna try and see if he's still a starting pitcher because that's just what the Yankees do.
Luis Severino is a starter.
Okay. He's a starting pitcher. Okay.
We are going to start
But,
banging.
you but look at how they are with Aaron Hicks. I mean, they're not giving up on Aaron Hicks because they're paying him. He's here for a long time, and they're gonna stick with that the same way they will with
I'll be honest
Severino.
with you, Rye. I don't want to get too much into it. I know we got to get to the poll, but if Hicks keeps this up, I actually see the Yankees moving on from him sooner than you would think.
Yeah, but they can't.
I hope so.
I don't think they can move the contract though. It's the whole thing.
I personally think if they can get more value out of him by eating some of that contract, they might do it.
All right.
hope.
So I like doing these polls when you know you're gonna get the
Reactionary people and not rational.
when the fans are at a fever pitch about something. So I posted this about
Good
an hour
movie.
before the movie. Look, if we lived in Iowa, it'd be a fucking good movie. But we're fucking Yankee fans. So I don't know how you can call a movie that made you relive one of the fucking worst memories you have of a fan as a good movie. Do you want to do you want to sit there and have them make a movie about the 2001 Diamondbacks? Why don't you watch that, Chris? Tell me how good of a movie that's going to be.
Oh boy, triggered.
All right. Been hanging around you for fucking so long. All right. Anyway, so Judge held out of the lineup second day. People were like, well, I was like, what the fuck is like we said?
Yeah,
What's wrong
rightfully
with this
so.
guy?
Rightfully so.
You know. So you're You're the GM. You're Brian Cashman. Hal Steinbrenner, hello. This is Hal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Hello.
SGR is the GM.
All right. Do you want to do a little bit here, Rye? You want to do a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit
go.
here? All right.
Yeah,
ready?
we'll do scene.
All
Come
right.
on.
You're all right.
All right.
You're pretend your phone's ringing.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Who's this? Brian
This
Cashman
is
here.
Brian. This is Hal. How you doing?
Hey, Hal. How's it going?
Not so good. I gave you fucking $20 billion, and you had to give me a
Mhm.
World Series. So what are we gonna
Yeah.
do?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, we got to see how we're doing going forward. But the luxury tax is a problem, and because if we go over the luxury tax, we're gonna have to pay like $3 million, and we can't afford that. So,
All right. So I'm gonna ignore the fact that you just called me cheap right there. I need you to do
mm,
something for me. Okay.
okay. Yep.
Aaron Judge.
Whatever you
I
need,
need
Hal.
you need to shit or get off the pot. Either extend this guy or trade him.
Yeah. I'll get back to you on that. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so your Yankees GM Brian Cashman, Hal gives you the ultimatum: sign him or trade him. What are you doing? Did you see the results to the poll? I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that it wasn't
I
further. I'm
I
actually
didn't see that.
surprised it's not further in this direction. 52% of the people voted to trade Aaron Judge.
You're fucking out of your
Wow.
mind.
How many votes?
And
Scientific?
we got over 400 votes on this.
hold on, let
Wow.
me ask you a question. Have I been speaking positively about Judge so far this year? Have I not said he's a complete disappointment right now? That he can't
Yeah.
stay healthy, he isn't producing. But you're crazy right now if you're telling me you would trade him over extending him.
Mhm.
What? First of all, who are you getting for him? Is that going to be like maybe you'll use Judge as the trade off to get Scherzer as a rental? Maybe we'll just do that, right? I mean, let's just make it as fucking extreme as possible. I mean, come on. Listen, you have to think of it both ways. This is Aaron Judge. You want to see him on another team? You want to see your pitchers pitch to him on another team and beat you? Or do you want to take this as an opportunity to say his value's pretty low right now, lower than we thought it would be at this time? I'm going to use that to my advantage and extend the guy.
I want to read some fan comments here.
Can you get? I know I always yell at you to get away from the mic. You're a little too far from the mic.
I'm gonna try not to drop dead, so I want you guys to react to them because I already caused an aneurysm or two already today. All right, we're gonna start with this one here. This is from BH Sales. With his size, he's not going to age well, and there's other outfielders like Juan Soto.
Yeah,
What is that? But what does that even mean? There's other outfielders like Juan Soto.
No,
Like
no, no.
we're gonna trade Aaron Judge and get Juan Soto.
Right.
Yeah, well, they
And-
could throw him in the Scherzer package.
because he's available, and even though we see that Judge isn't as valuable as he should be right now, the Nationals don't know that, and they'll definitely give up Soto for Judge right now. Definitely, it's realistic.
This will trigger Chris because his at Schumacher 1814. He said it would have to redefine the meaning of King's ransom to trade Aaron Judge.
There you go.
Okay,
It's
I
a
like
solid
you.
answer.
I like you, Shoemaker.
What
Agree
else
with
we
that.
got here? This is from DM Neos 25. If you look at what Springer got for his contract and age, I think Judge gets the same type of deal, maybe even less. I'd rather keep a homegrown player than let him go, especially when he's the type of player Aaron Judge is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to read this one in particular, but I got several with the same type of idea behind it.
Same premise.
Same premise.
I
At Pop
got
Pop
smarter than you, I think.
at Pop
Ooh.
Pop guy Bride guy, right? He says extend them with the standard no passes to the nurse's office, clauses. We pay you to play. Now, this is going what people are
Pay to
saying.
play.
Pay to play. People are saying lowball him. You sign him to a incentive laden deal.
Okay. Can I just say one thing? Um, it, part of that is what I just said. You leverage his drop off here over the last couple years, and him being unable to stay healthy. You can't lowball him per se. It's got to be realistic to what he's produced. And the last thing I'll say is it's not like he's a salesman and making commission. It's not you can't give him a contract and like he's a okay, it's a small base salary at 175 a game, but if
Yeah.
you every hit you get, we're going to pay you $10,000. And if you play each game you play, we're going to give you a commission of 1,000. That's not how it
Right.
works. You still have to give
No.
him a good contract.
Do
You can
fans really think they're
incentivize
gonna?
that
Do
contract.
fans really think they're gonna sign Aaron Judge to like $3 million a year, and then like, oh, if you hit 40 home runs, then you'll make. Look, if you look at what his WAR is compared to what other guys are playing and getting paid and all that stuff, it's an easy 25 to $30 million a year contract you're gonna have to give the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
It's-
incentive contracts are what you give to a guy like say Andy Pettit on the last year of his contract. I think it was heavily incentivized. The guy that's on the very end of his career, not a guy going for his biggest
yeah, but
contract
it's
yet.
beyond that. What they're trying to get at is beyond that because it just doesn't make sense. What people are trying to say, using that premise, is that you completely lowball him, give him a contract that he definitely like is an embarrassment to him, but say, hey, if you play more and if you play this amount of games and if you hit this many home runs, then your contract will actually be real.
What you can do, you can say if you play one, like what would happen with Hap last year. I'm sorry, I said his fucking name. Whatever, sue me. Um, if you X amount of starts, you get your option picked up, or you get an extra whatever. You can do that, but it's not like the Yankees were paying him $7 an hour to make fucking starts last year. He was still making $17 million a year, which was at the time was a fair market rate for him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you give Judge here's how I would do it. You give Judge a good contract, right? The guy the guy unfortunately came up later in his career than we're used to. He has been great. Let's not say he hasn't.
well,
Y-
that's going to be a whole different debate about guys going to college versus not going to college. Because if you go to college, you're going to hit the
Right,
major leagues later.
right. But like so you give him the contract maybe he deserves if he stayed the way he was, right? But since you're giving him that money, maybe then you can leverage the fact that you want a team option after 2 years. And maybe at that point he says, you know what, I'm gonna risk that because it's good money that I don't think I deserve right now. And that incentivizes him alone to stay healthy and to do everything he can to stay healthy and to fucking start really mashing like we need him to.
All right, so we'll read a couple more here. This is from Silky Johnson. Oh, actually,
That's a good handle.
his actually that's his name.
His name is
And
Silky. His mom named him
Silky Johnson.
Oh, Sylvie.
no Silky,
s-
Silky. I don't
Silky.
think that's his name,
Silky.
dude.
but
Okay.
his is New York Sports Troll. So you can tell how this is going.
Yes.
He's 29 and always injured. Unless it's a 4-year deal, how can you do it? Especially with the black hole in the order that is John Carlos Stanton.
That's fair. It is fair because the thing with black holes is that we don't we don't necessarily like we have some type of an idea of what they do, but like no matter what the truth is about them, we'll just make up whatever we want. So no matter what Stanton does, he's just a fucking loser black hole who doesn't exist. And that's fair. I mean, that's a fair evaluation.
All right. This is from K Combine 33, who's a good listener to the show. He interacts all the time, but he wants to trade him for prospects.
No, no, no. Listen, I love you if you're a good listener. If you're a follower, I'm not trying to rip you here. Prospects are garbage to me right now. If the Yankees win a couple World Series over the next handful of years, and then you want to start talking about prospects to me again, I'm all for it. But you don't even have a fucking World Series under your belt when this window of opportunity is closing quicker than you think. Prospects don't even exist to me right now.
This poll got a lot of interaction, but we'll end it here with Hunter Larson. This is
It's my boy.
so we'll say this. He goes, I know it's not ideal, but I take Judge having load management the way like what the Yankees been doing
Mhm.
with him. If he plays 140 games this year and his future years and talent is undeniable, his weaknesses are fixable. People are saying he's terrible this far, but he's really not doing that bad.
Hunter, I agree with you, but one thing I'll correct you on is that this isn't necessarily load management to me, and that's why it's frustrating. We're not even a month into the season, and it's not like the Yankees are just kind of taking it easy on him. It's that he actually is feeling sore, and they don't want that to progress. So it's not load management as much as it is just really staying on top of him and not letting it get to the point where he needs to get to the IL, which I am okay with. The reason why it's frustrating is because he didn't even get to a point
Mm.
that he was like really turning it on, and maybe it's, a couple months into the season where it's justifiable. We're talking about the first month of the season, what's 2 weeks in, that he was sore already, that he had to sit a couple games, and now he's sore again by the end of the first month. What's going on? This isn't load management. This is a guy getting sore way too often that they're trying not to let break.
But
And
maybe
but eventually that's going to
maybe it is
break.
load management because who's not sore, but they're just using it as an excuse to not play him.
Maybe. You can't make sense of anything they're really doing right
So
now as an
you're
organization.
on the
So,
spot now. What are you doing?
it's not even a question for me. I'm extending him. Cashman knows what he's doing when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I think he gets a good deal done. You don't want to see Judge go to another team. This guy's a great baseball player. He will step it up, but he's got to stay healthy and he's got to lead on the field by example and really start producing for this team.
Well, I know Ryan's answer. Trade him. And Ryan would.
Trade
What
him.
do you want? What do you want to
Ryan's
get
not
for
even
him?
trading him. He's just releasing him. He's just going to
Yeah, I
release
just
him.
DFA him. Look, as much as I hate Aaron Judge, all right. Even if you don't like Aaron Judge, there's too much of it from a business perspective of why you wouldn't trade him. He brings too much value to the team off the field. So yeah, I might not,
It's
I
way
can't
too
say
much
it.
reward than
Right. There's just
than a risk.
it's not worth it right now off the field, and then on the field, what are you even gonna get for the true
And rem-
value of Aaron
and remember,
Judge?
you can also leverage his age here too because he's going to be 30.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can justify a 10-year deal here. So you
But see
leverage his age plus
if
his injury prone, last couple years, and
if
and
I'm
his
the
drop
Yankees
off
though,
in production.
I don't think that they could right now use that as leverage to give him less money in a contract. I think, but if they do wait and if he continues this, where he looks like he's an injury prone type of player, when his free agency does come up, then they'll have that leverage. But
Yeah, but
I think they
they
would
won't
just have
let
to
that
wait
happen
until then.
because they know there's
But
teams
then they
out
won't have
there.
leverage. Right. I know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking
You need
too.
to
Like
do it
that's
when
why that's
Judge
why an incentive contract wouldn't work
you need to do it
either because of that.
when Judge is questioning himself at this point. You need to do it when
Right, but
Judge.
he's not
His
questioning himself.
agent is not going to let him
He's
sign a
he's
contract
the
right
face
now.
he's the face of baseball, even
I'm
regardless
not
of how
saying to
he performs.
lowball him. I'm not saying necessarily
No,
lowball
no.
him. I'm saying you have these things at your advantage that you can push
Yeah,
across the
but
table.
he's just
Remember,
not gonna.
Cashman's a salesman when he's talking to these guys and agents.
Mm,
You know, it's a sales pitch. And when you have things like this, it you plant the seeds of, okay, listen, I was in the car business. When someone would come in to do to have a trade in, we were always taught when we're looking over their vehicle before we get a value on it, the customer must come out with us, right? Because what a car salesman will do, I know scumbags, they'll any little scratch, they don't say anything. They don't say a word, but they'll go up to it. They'll put their finger on it. And what does that do? It makes the person there to trade in their car say, "Oh shit, I had that fucking scratch there. Oh, he's looking at the tire. I know the tires are kind of bald there. I guess really the value's not as much as I thought it was." It plants those seeds. So yeah, you can still make the fight to get a little more, but you don't feel like you have the same ground to stand on when you're fighting back.
All right. Did you just put everybody to sleep?
No, I put you to sleep because you're just looking at the stupid fucking NFL draft.
It's more interesting than telling people about bald tires.
You're a fucking bald tire.
Your mom.
Not
Watch
Not
it.
Ryan. Not Ryan.
Oh, okay,
mom.
okay. All right, you're fine. You're fine.
All right, let's fucking wrap up, man.
All right. So
Yeah, come
I'll
on.
say this about Aaron Judge, right?
Mm.
If you extend him and in 5 years you're wrong, I'd rather be wrong.
That's
This
a
is not
great way to
some-
put it.
You cannot let him go on the chance that you're right for the chance that you will be wrong. So I'd rather be wrong with him in my uniform than wrong with him in somebody else's uniform.
Because and also just to put a bow on that, if you're gonna win a World Series, man, Judge is one of the guys you want there. One of the guys that if you're gonna win a World Series, it's because he contributed. You're not gonna get another. You're not. There's not many players out there like Judge, who you're gonna be able to get back for him at this point. So you're right. I'd rather be wrong and sign him here.
All right, so here we go. We'll take a look ahead. The Yankees are returning home for a weekend series against the Detroit Tigers. Tomorrow night, 7:05. Garrett Cole, baby. The ace of the Yankees will take the mound against. You ready for this?
TBT.
No, Tarek Skubal.
Screwball.
It is. If I'm saying that correctly, his name is Tarek Skubal. He's a 24-year-old pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. He's a lefty, and he's got a 5.47 career ERA. So he should shut the Yankees down tomorrow.
That's pretty good. You gotta give a curve on some of these pitchers. Like the guy who had an 8 ERA today really plays to like a 4. So that 5 ERA is like fucking DeGrom status.
So we got Skubal on Friday, and then Turnbull will take the ball for.
Oh my God.
Screwball, turnball, slide ball.
Fork
We'll
ball.
take the ball for the Tigers against Jamison Tyone, who
Spoon ball.
really, I'm really looking forward to that start, man, because we saw a lot of
Just
good
like the
things. from-
Kluber start. This is that start for Tyone now.
Right, and then
Mm.
Sunday we're wrapping up. It's my daughter's first birthday. Where the fuck did this year go? Right.
Happy birthday.
And then it's going to be Jose Urena, who, Turnbull and Urena are two solid pitchers. It's not going to be a walk in the park for the Yankees. So, I mean, if they lose the Cole start, they're in fucking trouble this weekend. And then Corey Kluber will take the ball Sunday, who, he's got to back up. He's got to show that wasn't a fluke. He's got to show that start against the Orioles wasn't a fluke. So
I'll
this
tell
is a
you
big
what.
week.
Kluber comes out Sunday and dominates and picks up a win for this team. You're feeling really fucking good about Kluber. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
pitching matchups outside of Friday, you want to say they might even tilt in the favor of the Tigers, but again, the Yankee, we can't be sitting here Sunday night recording this fucking show after I just had a great day celebrating my daughter's birthday, fucking punching holes in the wall and
Mhm.
screaming about how they lost another fucking series. It can't happen.
No.
If they don't win this series against the Tigers, when do you throw in the fucking towel? When is it over?
We can talk about that on Sunday.
I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about it on Sunday. So go win a
If we
fucking
have to.
series. Let's
Yeah,
go
well,
win a fucking series,
it's-
please.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, thank you for listening to episode 229 of the NYYST podcast. Follow us on Twitter or don't. Who cares? We're like fucking. What do they call it? Shadow banned?
Yeah,
we're
we're
definitely
shadow
shadow
banned.
banned.
Yeah, we're
At
probably
NYY
shadow
Sports Talk. Thank you for listening. Stat guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Nice. Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.